Hello crypto legends, the price of Bitcoin has high probability in hitting new all-time highs in the near future, and that is just understanding the movement down that we had from all-time high is a corrective structure, meaning that at some point we are looking for the price to hit new all-time highs. Now the main question is right now, do we see a larger correction throughout the next coming weeks with the potential of hitting $107,000, or are we just going to V-shape from here to hit all-time high in the next couple of weeks? I do have some boxes, some levels that will give us the short-term direction once they are hit, guys. So make sure to stay tuned till the very end, because I will be explaining the different scenarios that could happen if these levels are hit, okay? Now, tomorrow is the most important day for September. We do have the interest rate decision and FOMC economic projections. We're going to see some volatility, maybe some boxes being hit that can give us the direction in the immediate short term. We do have a lot of liquidity still sitting above $117,000. Okay, but overall we are building up lots of long liquidations, as you can see here on the heat map. So there could be some volatility up and down and up throughout this week. Make sure to stay cautious with your trading activity. Let's dive in right away through the different scenarios here. A quick reminder, we do have some incredible bonuses for either weeks, 20% deposit bonus on Bluffing. You do get 10% deposit bonus, but you get some incredible good fee reduction, guys, on VIP 1 or VIP 2, depending on what you deposit, okay? And if you sign up and do a minimum deposit on one of these exchanges, you do get access to the VIP community, guys. This is where I'm sharing my trading setups, mainly on Bitcoin and Ethereum. We can add a little bit of a bump here throughout the last 7 days, but overall long term, it's looking very good. I share Ethereum, Bitcoin setups that I am getting into, and we also have Dylan that is providing the altcoin setups. He's been absolutely crushing it last week with Avalanche Trade, XRP Trade, all of them going to take profit zones. If you are interested in that, it is super simple to join. Send me a DM right away. It's the first link to join the Telegram VIP just by signing up through these exchanges and doing a minimum deposit. Let's go right away through the different scenarios. Now, let me just quickly explain here what's happening here, okay? Because overall, we've had a massive rally since April, guys, from $75,000 to $124,000, all-time high, major pump, which has formed a five-wave structure. This five-wave structure, we are labeling it as a contracting diagonal. Now, this movement to the downside does look incredibly corrective. So despite getting a larger correction sideways or claiming the low, we are looking for those highs to be hit at some point, because the movement down is corrective, which will be explained now on the slightly lower time frames. But for this to be the low of this correction, based on timing, it wouldn't make sense. Getting this, the corrective move, and really rallying to all-time highs in the next 1 to 2 weeks would not make sense based on timing, okay? It's been very shallow in time, and it would be rare if we actually hit all-time high. We are in favor of hitting all-time high, but we understand that we still have the potential of claiming below 107K. It is still very much a scenario unless we hit above $119,000. That will be explained later on. Now, when we do take a look at the structure from all-time high to the pivot low here of the 1st of September at 107.2K, there is no proper way to count this as a bearish impulse with high volume. You do have the first leg down, the bounce right over here, another leg down, the bounce, and another leg down. You might think, okay, we do have 5 waves though, but this cannot be an impulse. Your wave 4 overlapped from your wave 1, which is an invalidation eventually, right, to get that impulsive move. Now, if we do connect your wave 2 with your wave 4 and your wave 1 with your wave 3, you can see that the trend lines are expanding. So if it were to be a 5-wave move down, it would have to be an expanding diagonal. Now, expanding diagonal, you need your wave 5 to be longer than your wave 3, which is not the case. So we do not have any type of impulsive move to the downside, which brings us to the conclusion that this is a 3-wave corrective structure. There are many ways in labeling this. We do have the WXY. If it is going to be a WXY, this means that the low is in. If it is going to be a ABC zigzag, well, what we are looking at here is the correction to possibly extend, because an ABC zigzag can be the first leg of a larger corrective move, which would be your wave W, which we'll be explaining a few scenarios now in the next coming minutes. But let's go with the most bullish case scenario. We'll be talking about the major levels of resistance and support and the boxes, of course, to overall look for the possible direction for the next coming weeks, okay? Now let's go with the most bullish one. We finished a WXY from all-time high. It's a double zigzag. This means that the low is in. And right now we do have nice uptrend momentum. We did break the downtrend, so we are bullish, and the momentum for the last 2 weeks from the 1st of September is uptrending. No matter how much we want a possible correction, the uptrend is up, okay? It's bullish, and there's no signs of weakness still. Now, what is the most bullish case scenario here? Well, eventually, we have a few of them. We have the regular impulsive move to the upside, where we formed a wave 1 right over here from the 1st of September. And here we formed a sideways complex WXY, okay? A lot of, you got a flat in the middle, a zigzag, another flat, you got a sideways complex correction. And then this is your wave 3 because you break out from the highs of the resistance. Now, you could arguably discuss that this resistance also is from that inverted head and shoulder, right, at $113,000. Now, we got the breakout. It is crucial for us to be bullish here for this wave 4 to not get below $113,000. You do not want to see overlap from that wave 1. The moment you get into this territory where I do have this green box, you invalidate the bullish case scenarios. There would only be one of them, which is a multiple 1-2, which does not look good because your second wave 1 and 2, your wave 1 is a little bit longer than your first wave 1. You do not want to see that. You want to see your second wave 1s or your third wave 1s being smaller in time and price action than your previous wave 1s, okay? And in this case, your second wave 1 is a little bit longer, which decreases the probability. So this most bullish case scenario, if you were to retrace from here, you would have to see a strong impulsive move up to then identify, okay, guys, the multiple 1-2 could be optional because you have a big impulsive move once you get below $113,000. Very speculative. We still need that price action eventually, but this is the only reason I would believe that this is bullish on the multiple 1-2. Only if you get a big bounce in an impulse once you get below $113,000. So the first option here would be this one. You forming a regular impulsive move to the upside. You do not want to see overlap from 112.5K. If you are forming a wave 4 right now, which is a pretty long correction that we've had for the last few days, counting the weekend, this could very much be the wave 4, okay? We want to see one more high, get above the highs at 116.8, and eventually, after all, we are looking for a rejection. Could this be a good speculative zone to short? Speculating that this is a wave 5. Absolutely. There is big resistance at $118,000, okay? We do have the point of control of this entire range that we had in between July and August, and we do have that lower high at 117.2, and we also have the golden pocket from all-time high to the pivot low. So if we are speculating here with the huge amount of resistance, point of control of the range, the golden pocket, possible fifth wave, if we do maintain above $113,000 for this wave 4 and we get another spike up, we could really speculate that this is the fifth wave and this is going to reject at some point at the $118,000 range. Point of control, golden pocket, sweep up the lower high here at 117.2. It's a great zone for that rejection. It's a difficult short. We understand that all-time high looks imminent, so it is dangerous to short. You need to manage risk like a beast. The most speculative great scenario here is after this 5-wave structure up is that you're looking for some kind of a corrective move later on. This is the zone that you're interested in looking for swing long positions. That is if we do maintain above 113K, we create one more high in that wave 5, and then throughout the next coming days, you're looking for a corrective structure that can get down to the 50% golden pocket zone from the pivot low to the pivot high. This is the moment you want to be interested in looking for swing longs because the probabilities will significantly increase after this 5-wave move up that you're looking for a good rally to hit all-time high. This is the zone that we want to be in. the third wave, the wave that gets to all-time high after identifying that the corrective move from 118K zone is going to be corrective, right? A lot of choppiness, a lot of overlap, and that's where me and you take advantage and get into the big massive wave to hit new all-time high. Now, other scenarios, eventually we do have the multiple 1-2 setup, of course. That is still very much a possibility. You just have a bunch of 1-2s here, impulsive move, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction. Not liking it too much, if I'm honest. I mean, we did break out here in a third wave. There is a possibility of forming 4-5s here. You have to have the same 4-5s than the 1-2s. So eventually we'd have to see 2 more 4 and 5s here, okay, to actually finish this impulse and then potentially look for that corrective move. This is going to be very, very disturbing, of course. You're just going to form lots of double, triple tops, right, as you do move on in the next coming days. But the most attractive scenario here would be looking for that correction, the same as the first scenario that I mentioned, right? You get that pullback, you enter the territory of 50% golden pocket Fibonacci, and that is the moment you want to see proof of support, bottoming out, and look for the swing long positions to take advantage of the third wave to take out all-time high in the very near future. So yeah, we have a few scenarios here based on the bullish case, but as mentioned, the moment the price does get into this territory below 113K, you're overlapping all of these pivots. That is the moment that you have high probability that you're forming a longer corrective structure, sideways or a sharp one. Well, on the sideways scenario, this is the moment that we need to label, okay, the possibilities of a larger corrective structure. You formed an ABC movement to the downside. Now, the ABC movement to the downside just gives you the option that you could form a zigzag up and a zigzag down. Maybe this zigzag hasn't finished here. You claim another high, and then you form a sideways corrective structure in a triangle, or you form a flat here to form a larger WXY. There's, very much a possibility. But overall, if you form a zigzag here, you form this zigzag here where you have that ABC movement to the upside, which is a possible zigzag, okay, right over here. You formed a triangle in a B wave. The moment you get into this territory is bad news. That means that, the bullish case is highly unlikely to happen, right? Which is the ones that I've showed you previously. This means that a larger correction is very, very likely. And hitting this last higher low from this 3-wave move up will confirm that we are extremely likely going to take out 107K. We can't say that it is a confirmation. There's no real proper 100% confirmations in trading, but the probabilities of taking out 107K will incredibly increase, guys, if you do hit 110.7K. That is the last higher low. This is the level where it will confirm that this uptrend is absolutely dead, and eventually we are looking for these lows to be claimed later on, okay? So these are confirmation levels. If you hit this higher low in the next coming days at 110.7, probabilities increase that you take out this low because you've broken the structure and you're looking for a zigzag move, of course, to the upside. 3-wave structure, credible probabilities to take out 107K. If you were to rally here, as mentioned, okay, with that impulsive move, right, to this area at $119,000, that will increase the probability that 107K will unlikely be hit. And what you're looking for eventually is either the impulsive move, which is the first scenario, okay, or the second one with multiple 1-2s and multiple 4-5s, where you're looking for a corrective structure later on. If you do manage to get above 119K, then eventually high probability that you're looking at the highs, and any movements here are going to be very, very attractive to look for a corrective structure, okay, because we'll be labeling this as an impulsive move. Now, there is one scenario that you could form a sideways corrective structure. Now, this is where we point out here the larger WXY, where you have a zigzag down. This is a zigzag up. However, with that zigzag to the upside, which is this one, maybe you haven't finished the X wave, okay? Well, this is what we're looking at here, where the X wave is not here, right? Of course, if we take out 110.7, I would label that X wave is already in, okay? I would say, okay, guys, if we have hit 110.7, then this would be the high of the X wave in that three-wave structure. You know, I wouldn't believe that we're going to go up all the way up here to and get a major bounce. There is a possibility, but I would really label that this, if we take out 110.7, that this was the high of the X wave. Now, there is a chance that the X wave here can be longer. You just have a three-wave structure to the upside. However, you get a corrective move down in a three-wave structure, and then you get another rally and a double zigzag, right? You've got a zigzag up, zigzag down, zigzag up. That can be an X wave with the chance of taking out 119K. This would be this scenario right over here, right? Where you have a WXY to finish your larger X wave right over here. This will mean that a sideways corrective structure, instead of coming down to claim 107K, is more likely, all right? This would extend for another couple of weeks, all right? Now, the potential after hitting this high, after getting a movement down and taking out this high, the highest probability is either a flat structure where then you're looking for all-time highs, or forming a larger triangle, right? Which inevitably at some point you're going to look for that breakout in a sideways WXY structure. This is still higher time frame, very speculative. We are focusing more on the lower time frame in the Legends Pro community, but these are the pivots, okay, that you need to be paying attention. If you get below 110.7K, the sharp double zigzag to the upside will be unlikely, okay? That means that this high is likely in and that you're going to claim the lows right over here. So these boxes do become very relevant to understand what is the highest probability movement in the immediate short term for the next 1 to 2 weeks, okay? So I am paying attention to these zones because I will know what is the highest probability direction after the next few days once these boxes are hit. We do talk about this in the Legends Pro community. There's updates every single day from myself, 𝗬𝗍𝘆, Dylan, the rest of the coaches looking for the internal setups, okay? We did talk about a short position. 𝗬𝗍𝘆 mentioned a short trade today based on the point of control of this entire range of the last few days. We formed a bit of a three-wave move to the upside, and we are hitting that point of control and the golden pocket, giving the possibility of getting the rejection today in this zone at 115.8K. If you are interested in that, make sure to shoot me a DM because we are looking at the local time frames, 5-minute, 15-minute, to look for internal day trading setups as well. Just send me a DM to the first link down below, okay? And we can get you the Legends Pro membership. Thank you guys for joining today's video update. Not much more has to be explained, of course, looking at the major levels of resistance and support. We do have on the higher time frame, okay, the point of control at $118,000, which is the point of control of this entire range that we do have right over here, which is also with the golden pocket, okay, Fibonacci resistance. We got the point of control claiming the lower highs. 118K does become your strongest resistance that we do have above us. The biggest support zone that we do have beneath us is the anchored VWAP, okay, anchored VWAP from the pivot low that we have here on the 1st of September, which is also, okay, in confluence. If you do add this entire range with the price action of the last few weeks, it would be the value area low if you consider all of this the range also, which is also the neckline, which has been proof of support and proof of resistance the last 2 weeks also, okay? So anchored VWAP, a reaction here at 112.5, 113K is very much a possibility. That bounce is going to be very interesting to analyze, okay? This is a zone where it could bounce, a zone where we could reject, okay? These are the most crucial levels of support and resistance that we have near the price action of today. Pay attention to those levels to look for a reaction. Thank you, legends, and I'll see you in the next one.